1907 Panic. October 1907, when America's entire banking system nearly died and one man had to save it. It started with a gamble gone wrong. A group of financiers tried to corner the copper market, buy it all, control the price, get rich. The scheme collapsed spectacularly. Their bank, Knickerbocker Trust, one of New York's largest, was suddenly suspect. Rumors spread. "They're broke. Get your money out, now!" By morning, thousands lined up demanding their cash. The problem? Banks don't keep everyone's money in a vault. They lend it out. Knickerbocker ran out of cash in hours. Doors locked. Life savings gone. Panic spread. If Knickerbocker failed, who's next? Within days, banks across New York were collapsing. The stock market cratered. The entire American economy was hours from meltdown. There was no Federal Reserve, no government rescue, just chaos. Enter J.P. Morgan, America's most powerful banker. He locked the nation's top financiers in his library. Wouldn't let them leave until they pooled millions to stop the bleeding. They injected cash into failing banks, bought stocks to halt the crash. It worked. Barely, but the message was clear. You can't rely on one man's fortune to save the country. 6 years later, the Federal Reserve was born, created specifically so 1907 could never happen again. One failed bet, one bank run, one crisis that changed American finance forever. Black Monday, October 19, 1987. The day machines turned against Wall Street. By the mid-80s, computers controlled billions in stocks, programmed with one rule. If prices drop, sell automatically. Nobody thought about what happens when every computer sells at once. Monday morning, the market dips. One computer sells, prices drop more. Another sells, then another. Within minutes, it's a stampede algorithms, selling to algorithms faster than any human could react. Traders watched in horror as screens went red. They tried to intervene. The machines were too fast. By the closing bell, down 22.6% in a single day. If that happened today, the Dow would drop 10,000 points before lunch. $500 billion evaporated in 6 hours. The crash spread globally. Hong Kong, London, Tokyo all fell like dominoes. Miraculously, the system didn't collapse, but it came terrifyingly close. Wall Street learned, when machines control money, you need a kill switch. They installed circuit breakers, automatic pauses when markets fall too fast. Because in 1987, we discovered computers can crash markets faster than humans can save them. SVB collapse. March 2023, when a bank collapsed at the speed of the internet. For years, Silicon Valley Bank did something safe, bought long-term government bonds while interest rates were near zero. Then, the Federal Reserve started hiking rates aggressively. Here's the problem. When interest rates rise, old bonds lose value. SVB's safe investments were suddenly worth billions less. Tech startups, SVB's main customers, started noticing. Wait, is our bank in trouble? Thursday, March 9th. Panic spreads on Twitter and group chats. Unlike 1907, depositors didn't line up at the door. They opened their phones. $42 billion withdrawn in a single day, all done digitally, from couches and coffee shops. By Friday morning, the bank was dead. The second largest bank failure in U.S. history gone in 48 hours. Fear spread instantly. If SVB collapsed overnight, who's next? 2 days later, Signature Bank failed. Then, First Republic started crumbling. The government had no choice. They stepped in, guaranteeing all deposits to stop the contagion. The new reality: bank runs now happen at digital speed. What used to take weeks in 1929 now takes hours. One viral tweet, one Slack message, and billions vanish before regulators can even react. Welcome to financial panic in the smartphone era. 1973 oil crisis. October 1973, the day the world ran out of gas, literally. Middle Eastern oil nations, furious over Western support for Israel, had one weapon: cut off the oil. Within weeks, oil prices quadrupled. Here's the problem. In 1973, oil wasn't just fuel. It was everything. Trucks delivering food, oil. Factories, oil. Farms, oil. Electricity, oil. When oil prices exploded, the entire economy seized up. Gas stations ran dry. Cars lined up for blocks. Some had fistfights at the pumps. People slept in their cars overnight to hold their place in line. But the real nightmare was just beginning. Companies faced a choice: raise prices to cover energy costs, or shut down. Most raised prices. Inflation went haywire. Food, rent, everything got expensive fast. Normally, governments fight inflation by slowing the economy. But the economy was already slowing because businesses were closing. Economists had a new word: stagflation. Stagnant growth plus rampant inflation equals pure chaos. Jobs disappeared while prices climbed. Your paycheck bought less, and there were fewer paychecks to go around. The crisis dragged on for years. Recessions in 73, 75, then the early 80s. One geopolitical decision, one resource, a decade of misery. It proved something terrifying. The modern world runs on oil, and when the oil stops, everything stops. Great Depression, October 24, 1929. America woke up rich and went to sleep broke. The 1920s were wild. Jazz, parties, and a stock market that only knew one direction: up. Grocery clerks, teachers, factory workers, everyone was buying stocks. And here's the crazy part: they were buying with borrowed money. Banks didn't just allow it, they encouraged it. They loaned people cash to gamble on stocks. Worse, they gambled their own customers' savings in the market too. Then, Black Thursday hit. Stock prices collapsed. Fortunes evaporated in hours. Millionaires became penniless by lunch. Terrified depositors sprinted to banks. "Give me my money now." But the money wasn't there. It was gone, vaporized in the stock market. 9,000 banks failed. Life savings, gone. Just like that. Without banks, businesses couldn't get loans. Factories closed. 15 million Americans. 25% of the workforce lost their jobs. No job meant no money. No money meant no food. Bread lines stretched for blocks. Families starved. People stopped buying anything. So more businesses died. More jobs vanished. A vicious cycle that fed itself. This wasn't a recession. This was the Great Depression. 10 years of economic hell that redefined what suffering looked like. It took a world war to finally pull America out. Asian Crisis, July 1997. When Asia's economic miracle revealed itself as a house of cards. Throughout the 90s, Thailand, Indonesia, South Korea were booming. Global investors poured billions in. Their secret? Currencies locked to the US dollar, making everything look stable. But underneath, a ticking time bomb. Companies had borrowed massive amounts in dollars. As long as their local currency stayed strong, no problem. They could repay easily. Then investors started asking questions. Wait, can these countries actually afford all this debt? July 2, 1997. Thailand's currency collapsed. Money fled at lightning speed. Billions vanished in days. The Thai baht crashed 50% in weeks. Here's the catastrophe. Debts borrowed in dollars suddenly doubled overnight. A company owing $10 million now owed the equivalent of $20 million in local currency. Impossible to repay. Banks collapsed. Factories closed. But it didn't stop in Thailand. Indonesia crashed. South Korea crashed. Malaysia, Philippines crashed. The contagion spread like wildfire. Each collapse triggered the next. Millions lost jobs. Middle-class families thrown into poverty. Suicide rates spiked. Entire economies went from boom to depression in 90 days. One currency collapse in one small country brought an entire region to its knees. Dot-com crash, March 2000, when the future became worthless overnight. The late 90s internet gold rush was insane. Companies with zero revenue were valued at billions. Pets.com spent millions on a Super Bowl ad, while losing money on every sale. Wall Street didn't care. The motto was simple: profits? Who needs profits when you have a .com? A 22-year-old with a business plan scribbled on a napkin could raise $50 million. Day traders quit their jobs to buy tech stocks. Everyone was getting rich, except nobody was actually making money. Then, investors asked a dangerous question. Wait, when do these companies turn a profit? The answer? Never. The sell-off began. Slowly at first, then all at once. Stock prices that took years to climb collapsed in weeks. Companies valued at $5 billion were suddenly worth nothing. Pets.com, dead in 9 months. Webvan, burned through $800 million, then vanished. Thousands of startups gone. $5 trillion in market value evaporated. That's more than the GDP of most countries. Tech workers who were paper millionaires on Friday were unemployed by Monday. Silicon Valley office parks turned into ghost towns. The internet didn't fail. It was real. The revolution was real. But the valuations? Pure fantasy. 2008 global crisis. 2008, the year the global financial system nearly died. For years, banks handed out home loans like candy. No job, no savings, no problem. They bundled these risky mortgages together and sold them worldwide as safe investments. Wall Street called them AAA rated. Pension funds bought them. Countries bought them. Everyone believed housing prices would rise forever. Then the music stopped. Homeowners couldn't pay. Foreclosures exploded. Suddenly, these safe investments were worthless. Banks looked at each other and asked, "How much toxic debt are you hiding?" Nobody knew the answer. So they stopped lending. To businesses, to each other, to everyone. September 15, 2008, Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old Wall Street giant, collapsed overnight. $600 billion gone. Panic went global. Stock markets crashed. Credit froze. The money that makes the world spin just stopped moving. Within months, 8 million Americans lost their jobs. 6 million lost their homes. Entire countries teetered on bankruptcy. Governments printed trillions to keep banks alive. Because if the banks died, everything else died with them. One bad bet on housing nearly burned down the entire world economy.